Welcome to the Village People's Weekly Roundup, Part 1. You've reached Talking with Dr. Terry, 180 Seconds to a Better You, message number 167. I'm Dr. Terry Wurzbacher. Coach Clifford reminded us that 2% of our fears come true, which means that most of our fears do not come true. Kathy likes the weekly roundup because it means that if she misses a call during the week, she can still catch up and find out what we were talking about. And I think that's a great point for everybody. I love the way Karen talked about the weekly roundups as a continuing party where you all come to hang out and exchange ideas. She likens it to an endless well of creativity. I also love that. On the mistakes call, Ramona mentioned that even a rose could be considered a weed if it's growing where you didn't plant it. Think on that for a while and then see how that applies to your own life. April accurately talked about how we grow up with people of authority who shamed us if we made mistakes. We learn not to spill the milk, but we also learn to panic if we did. This is why we have to work so hard to look at mistakes differently. Tim said that sometimes mistakes are not mistakes at all. They may lead us into new and more beautiful things. He cited getting lost while driving and being frustrated until he realized there was a glorious park right in front of him that he'd never seen before. On worry being a form of visualization, Ramona reminded us of her philosophy of pray, don't worry. Aaron realized his attitude of wondering if there were any good candidates for employment out there might not be the best way to attract the quality he's looking for. To a degree, he was kidding because he's such a positive guy, but I thought it's something we all do subconsciously and need to be more aware of, so thanks, Aaron. April talked about the increased energy she has to expend to get the universe to correct the negative energy of those she's hooked up with and those she can't, quote-unquote, get rid of. Those are the business partners, family members, etc. Frank commented on the fact that most people who lean towards the negative say, see, I told you, when something actually comes to pass, but they never talk about the other times when they didn't come true. They don't say, whoops, I was wrong. I think this is a human nature thing where people don't want to admit when they're wrong, but need to puff themselves up by having predicted the bad stuff. They think it makes them stand out. Perhaps our response should be, wow, that shows you're excellent at visualization. Why don't you try to use it to create positive things? Or maybe something more politically correct. On the call about the man on the corner, Coach Clifford said that resilience was his team's theme a few years ago and they won a championship. Once again, Karen gave me another idea, so I'll save her comment for that call, but it was definitely priceless. She also cited William James saying the greatest human craving is to be appreciated, and I think we can agree with that. So if we want to be appreciated, why wouldn't we bestow it upon others? After all, you reap what you sow. We'll cover some more tomorrow. Have a diamond day.